Hey there, YouTube friends, Masked Bandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I always do appreciate it, and we are back in Conifer Slopes. To prepare for this video, I went and I rewatched the most recent episode of Conifer Slopes. By recent, I mean 2 years ago. And in there, I said a lot of wrong things. I said that we'd be working on this park, and there hasn't been an update in 2 years, but hey, we're back now. And I feel like there might be maybe more than one episode of Conifer this time. I'm in a groove. I finished Summerdale, and I want to play theme park games again. So yeah, just in a total planet coaster mode right now. And so let's take advantage of that and pound out some content. We are back in Conifer Slopes, and again, listening to my previous episode, if you haven't, if you're obviously 2 years is a long time. I encourage you to go back and check out the rest of the Conifer Slopes playlist so you can see how we got to here. But it's really, really funny listening to myself talk about how much I love this coaster. How much it just absolutely dominates everything. How much I love that you cannot hide from it. It is everywhere and you see it from every angle of the park. Like, if you're here, look it dominates back there. And even in the front of the park, or closer to the front of the park, it dominates. As you're coming back here, you just can't see anything else. It's huge. I was so happy with that. It's amazing what 2 years will do. Thanks, I hate it. I hate it. There might be some very strange cuts in this video. I am currently dealing... Actually, I'm currently dealing with COVID, so I have a bit of a cough. Symptoms are relatively mild now, but this gives me some extra time to play and create content for you. So if there's some hard cuts in this video, that's what's going on. Just kind of... surviving here. So anyway, we've been live streaming this park the last couple weekends, and I've noted, and the first thing we did was just look at this, look at how big this is. It's stupid, it's just dumb, it needs to go away, so we're just gonna do that. And you know what, all of this, this is, well, not the trees, I like the trees, let's keep the trees. So there we go. No, enough. I'm not doing it. And you know what? This train station, it sucks. Ooh, I don't want to delete the whole train. The train station sucks too. So let's get rid of it. And you know what? I'm going to move this ride. I'm going to put this over here because I don't know what to do with it yet. And I'm going to put this one over here because I don't know what to do with it yet either. And you know what? This was supposed to be a little dark ride. A shooting gallery dark ride with ghosts and ghosts and cowboys. That's gone. Goodbye. Get out of here. And you know what? These paths can kiss my rear end as well. And you know what? Just gonna do this. We're just gonna get rid of all of it. Just goodbye. Get rid of all of it. We're gonna get rid of all of it. All this can just go away. See, in the last episode, I was not. I thought I was invested. No, I'm not. I wasn't. And I am now. I forgot what motivation feels like in this game. So let's get rid of all of this. And yeah, let's take a step forward. All right, so I might have been being a little silly. I did rip everything out. So this is where we're at now. I didn't actually delete the coaster. I deleted most of the coaster. And what we have going on here is, I'm not even sure if this is the final thing. Let's see. Let's look at this. Let's edit this. So here we have the new height of the coaster. We are not. The original one was, I think, 205 feet or 215 feet, a true hypercoaster. We are not going to do that. We are going to have a mini hypercoaster, something a little more in line with this park. Part of the problem was the coaster was just too tall. It was so big that in order that its momentum, it forced itself to have to go all the way rambly through here and just dominate the back half of the park. I want to put something over here. We can't have a giant coaster in the way. And while I don't mind the hypercoaster being prevalent back here as a backdrop, I don't want the entire area back here to be dominated by the hypercoaster. So I've done a couple things. I've scooched it way back, and I've removed the entire layout. And I've also shrunk it down by about 50 feet. And these are things that I think are really going to help the profile and the sightlines of the park. I think that's really going to make a difference. And I also think this is going to do a wondrous job to really give us more space to play for this western area. One of the things I hated was how the western area was laid out initially with the path and the train station. I did not like it. I know I mentioned I was using an image that was given to me by the super awesome Wings and Strings. He kind of gave me a bit of a layout, and while I'm still keeping it in my head, I've realized that the scale was just completely off, and I could not fit what I wanted to fit, putting things where they were originally. Like, there's supposed to be a rapids ride back here. We're supposed to do that. So by scooching the coaster back and making this whole area from this little creek up the western area is supposed to be a fairly large theme in the park. I think I've gone ahead and given myself enough room to play, and also given my coaster enough room to work, to have a reasonable layout that does not dominate the entire park. I mean, it went all the way over here, guys. It's insane. So, yeah, I'm not going to do any building live. We're going to go ahead and skip ahead. And don't worry, I think that's a poor shape. I'm not even sure. That might have just been a mock-up for the live stream. So I'm going to go in now, and I'm going to actually try my best. Remember, not a coaster guy. I like to get it close. I like it to, oh yeah, that looks like a B&M. Cool, good enough for me. I'm going to try to make it ride smoothly, but I'm not going to worry myself with the fiddly little details. As you know, if you watch me, that's not my jam. So yeah, let's get a hypercoaster put in here and see what we think. It's incredible, like pulling this file up after looking at where it was just a few weeks ago. This makes me smile. I dare you to tell me that this doesn't look better. I think this fits so much better. You still see it. It's still a presence, but it's subdued, and oh, it just feels right. It feels so good. I am so pleased with this layout. Well, here it comes. Perfect timing. Some strong Six Flags Over Georgia vibes with this turnaround element. I really liked it. It was in my wheelhouse as far as relatively easy to build. Yes, I know the whole thing is floating. We need to add ourselves some supports. Don't you worry. I will be doing that shortly. All right, so here you go. Here is a look at the finished product. Parabolic-ish hills. Lots of airtime things. It looks enough like a B&M to me. We've got just a little bit of turning, but it's a pretty standard out and back layout. The original, way back in the day, was a very rambly mess. And I never did get another version that was really good. So I do absolutely enjoy this, though. The color scheme, though, I'm not necessarily down with it anymore. It's close, but I think I want to get away from the purplish, pinkish supports. But yeah, hopefully you could see that this is clearly a B&M. Again, probably not perfect. In fact, I know it's not, but the pacing is good. It rides smooth enough for me. So yeah, I'm excited. So now this is a jumping off point. I've maintained the station. I actually like it positioned this way so that now we can have our exit kind of go along the creek here. And it's a perfect place to have a gift shop. It hides the transfer track better. We can put stuff in front of it. I like this better. This flat ride is just hanging out here. Don't worry if you're like, oh, I don't like that there. Don't worry, it's probably not going to stay there. But yeah, you can see here. We need to make some tweaks, though, to this layout. This hill sucks, and this overbank sucks. So I don't like where we're at with the ending of the layout, but the front half is much closer. Just a couple more tweaks to do, and then we'll have our completed layout. But now you can see, hopefully, you're like, oh, yeah, that's much better. Like, you still see it. It's still a presence, but it's not stupid big. And it's further away. That helps, too. All right, so as you can see, I cleaned up the back, the last couple elements here. I like this a lot better. I think it rides a lot better, and I'm a sucker for a good old-fashioned helix. So we've got ourselves a bit of a helix here to end the ride. I kind of dig that. And threw in the supports, and I will be doing a few custom supports as needed, probably over here on the turnaround, because that's kind of ugly. Yeah, and some other places maybe. But for the most part, in-game support's good enough for me. But yeah, we've changed the colors a little bit here. More of a greenish on the supports with this darker orangey yellow color, which has vibes of my Condor flying coaster that I did, I think, a couple summers ago. So if you're familiar with that, then that should look a little familiar to you. But yeah, that's it. Just a very small update here. A small tweak to make the whole thing flow better. It crests this hill better. Everything's just better about this. And this is now the complete layout. And we can start doing fun things with it. But before I get too ahead of myself, I hope that you have not grown too terribly attached to this. Because while it's cute, it's not doing it for me anymore. And it just so happens that a good friend of mine, that you're all familiar with, loves to make carousels. Redline is poking his nose in this project too. I asked him to replace this carousel and to do it a bit more rustic, because that's what the park's theme was originally meant to be. So I sent it off to him, and oh boy, in just a few days, he had created just an amazing carousel cover. So why don't we all take a look at that now? Ah, the magic of editing. Look at that. A brand new carousel brought to us by Redline. Oh man, look at what a great job he did. He was sending me a couple pictures, but you know, until you get in and you look at it, it's hard to appreciate how amazing it is. So look at how light and airy and yet rustic it is. It's just, I really like it. Taking full advantage of them TMTK beams, but like, look, he's even got the bolts on the metal. It's so good. I love what he did. And look at the path. Look at the path details. It's really something special. Beautiful job. I could not be happier. And the whole point here is that this is supposed to be one of the few historic things in the park. We need to have some history in the park. I said that this little blues was supposed to be kind of the inspiration. This is the kind of rustic charm that Conifer was always supposed to have. And I think that this carousel fits so very well. Let's take a look up close and underneath. Look at underneath. It makes me angry. He's so good. Look at how good this guy is. Man, I don't know if there's anybody out there that makes better carousels than Redline. He cleaned up the front here. It's this nice open area now. Really cleaned up the paths. Conifer carousel. Look at this. Like, next to the train here. I would not mind waiting in line for this carousel. And it's all behind the path. It's all so neat and clean. Thank you so much, Redline. I know I said it in chat, but I just absolutely adore it. The colors are great. Love me some teal, as usual. I just think it's so good. So good. And look, he even left us a flume. Let's see. The flume is just a suggestion. Just a suggestion, the flume. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to veto that. I don't think that's going to go there. Instead, I decided to do this. And what an endeavor this is turning out to be. I decided to try my hand at some rapids. The last video of Conifer Slopes on the channel was back of these, the last RollerCoaster Tycoon 3 episode on the channel was building rapids among the hypercoaster here. And so I wanted to incorporate it to see if I liked it, and I feel like there's enough of a nugget of an idea here to get it feeling good. So this is my rough layout. Here, look at this. This is not good. This is unacceptable. I do not like this, Sam I am. So we're going to change that. In order to fix this feels too tall to me. Or at least, yeah, it just doesn't, it feels too big. It hides too much of the coaster. This wall here is just too much. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this lift down a little bit, shore up this drop. Like, we're just going to bring this whole chunk down and probably leave the rest alone. By the way, this biggest pain in the ass. This was such a flippin' chore to get this to work correctly. Ugh. The water rides in Planet Coaster suck. So, there's my rant and rave for the episode. But, that being said, it gives us 2 large tracked rides in this area now, and we can fill in the rest with some flats. I'm excited. Doesn't this just feel better than what it was at the beginning of the episode? Hopefully you're like, yeah, that layout feels great. And this is going to be the border of the park here. We're not going to cross underneath. This is it. So Conifer Slopes only swings out that far, and it's probably going to swing around here. This is going to be the whole park. So yeah, I like this. It was a pain in the butt, but I think it's worth it. We have a bunch to clean up. This is in the ugly stage mode. This is the baby swan. We are in the baby swan territory, the ugly duckling territory. But don't worry, it will clean itself up, and foliage, it's amazing. Foliage does wonders. But let's refine this idea a little bit, because it's kind of rough right now. All right, so this area got even busier. Whenever I opened the file for the next chunk of the episode, I was, what am I going to talk about here? And I just said, wow, there's a lot of crap in this picture, in this view. But look, we toned down the lift. You can see the coaster better now. And more importantly, this makes a lot more sense now. We can dig this out even a little bit more, but that looks a lot better to me than what it did in the last iteration. Also, got rid of all this, because that's ugly. I forgot that you could just make the trough wider, and then they just kind of bounce around. I like that so much more than the wide trough with these rails. We kept the rail in. Now it's just a small little drop. This doesn't need to be any earth-shattering ride. It's a standard rapids ride that meanders around the hypercoaster. So I do like this a lot better. I've gone around and I've trimmed everything up. I don't know if I'm going to custom bumper this, custom trough this. That is just an insane amount of work that, short of a bro coaster park, I don't know if I want to do it. But you can see we are going to need some custom supports in here. Because ideally this part, the flumes are older than the coaster. That's sort of timeline-wise what would make sense to me. So they would make sure that the supports work for that. Oh, the train. Duh. That's the biggest thing. I didn't think about it, and I needed to think about it. We do have to get the train back here somehow. And right now, this is pretty snug. It is very close. This is probably not super realistic. I don't know if there's a better option. Like, just the way the hills go, there's really nowhere to put it. The train, it kind of has to thread this needle. I might try and get it a little better. But really, aside from moving the coaster over a little bit, which I don't really want to do, it might just have to be. I mean, it clears. It's busy. It is busy. So we may just need to shore this up and make this look like it's supposed to be here, because right now it is a rough idea. Not something we're going to get done in this episode, but the idea is there. If you have suggestions on what to do, I'm going to tell you right now, running the train behind the hypercoaster is probably not one of the options I'm interested in. Although, man, that's going to cut in front. I don't know. Like, how do we solve this problem? What are your thoughts on how to tackle this? The train has to go through here somehow. Maybe it is coming all the way around, but then that screws everything up. I don't know. Figure it out. Thread the needle this way? Like, that seems intense. I don't know. Probably should have put the train tracks down first. It is amazing what foliage can do, isn't it? Yeah, this is where the park is currently at right now. We have started landscaping the flume ride. I don't know if there's a heavy theme coming with this ride. I don't know, it might just be a nice romp through nature. But yeah, I did some art shapes to color this collection pool to make it look like it's chlorinated and stuff. We'll have to dress all this up. The problem is this terrain now is too close to the paths, so it has to kind of stay there or else all the water goes away, because that's how Planko gonna Planko. So yeah, but I think just doing this, it makes the train track make sense, make more sense now. So I don't hate it as much. And with the short shrubs in the front and the trees in the back, I can get behind this idea. So yeah, we're going to add some rock work, we're going to do all kinds of little stuff here, some water effects, and we're going to make this whole area cute. So this is where I'm going to leave it for today, because I think this is quite a bit of work done. I mean, when you think about it, we've completely revamped what this area is, how this area is laid out. We rebuilt a coaster, we added a log flume, not a log flume, we added a rapids ride, and we started detailing it. So I think that's pretty successful. Is it 2 years worth of success? No, probably not. But it's going to have to be, it is what it is, kind of a situation. So if you are excited that Conifer Slopes came back today, go ahead and hit the like button for me. Consider subscribing if you haven't. And with all that being said, have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever. And I will see all of you for the next episode of Conifer Slopes. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.